day. My name is Inge van Merwe and I will be discussing the different types of debt relief mechanisms with you. The statistics in South Africa as of December 2022 shows that 23% of all credit active consumers have accounts that are more than 3 months in arrears. This is the stage where you have to act quickly before you get an adverse listing against your name on the credit bureau or before legal action starts and a judgment is made against you. An unpaid judgment lies against your name for the next 30 years. There are various ways to break the debt cycle, and you can start by increasing your income or maybe reducing your expenses or your living costs. Take out everything that is not necessary at this moment. You can adjust your debts, and we will talk about voluntary debt arrangements just now. Start practice smart spending, thinking 3 times or 5 times before you actually purchase something. Don't just say to yourself, it's only 10 Rand, it's only 20 Rand, it's nothing. We can do this. So think about when you buy things, and then start saving, especially for emergencies, so that you don't have to take out another loan to make sure that your emergency is settled. If the previous methods for breaking the debt cycle did not work for you, then there are more serious ways to tackle your debt. Debt consolidation is where you are replacing your current debts with one debt. You have to remember that the chances are good that you will be paying a higher interest rate as your risk profile is now not so great anymore. It is only beneficial if the fees, the interest and the repayment terms are better. Voluntary arrangements are for consumers where the debt is not too severe and they are not in arrears yet. So you can make arrangements with your credit provider and make an arrangement that you know you will realistically be able to stick to. If you don't stick to it, the chances are very good that legal action will immediately start. The credit providers must also confirm the new arrangements in writing with you. Administration is an old way of getting out of debt. We discourage people to use administration as this process is not regulated and administrators can charge any fees they like. Who can qualify? People that have unsecured debts to a maximum of 50,000 Rand. Unsecured debts are, there's no security attached to it like a car or a house. They will reduce the installments and they will extend the terms. The negative thing about this is that the credit providers will only be paid every 3 months, although you are paying the administrator every month. And therefore, the interest escalates from the credit provider side and the consumers are on administration for a very long time. You cannot make any further debt until you are rehabilitated, and there's usually an emolument attachment order on your salary, so that will force your employer to pay over the money to the administrator. Debt counselling was established in June 2007, and this is a regulated legal process where the debt counsellor will set up a repayment plan that is affordable to the consumer and acceptable to the credit providers. Your debt payments are reduced, the terms are extended, and most probably the interest rate will be lowered. So that means you are paying back your principal debt. The pros is your assets are protected. No legal action can take place after you have been signed on to debt counselling. There's also only one installment, and you cannot incur further debt. You will be listed on the credit bureaus, and you cannot withdraw from the process until all your debts are settled. Sequestration is a very hard way of getting out of debt, as you are going to lose your assets. We get voluntary sequestration and involuntary sequestration. Voluntary is where you yourself decide to sequestrate, and involuntary is where the credit provider wants to sequestrate you. So this is an application in the High Court. It's very costly. They will sell your assets to pay off at least 20% of your total debt and your legal costs. So say, for example, you have an estate of 100,000 Rand. They will have to sell things to the value of 20,000 Rand plus probably 15 to 20,000 Rand also for your legal costs. So that's a 40,000 Rand that you will need on a 100,000 estate. Once you have paid that amount, the balance of your debts is written off. The curator will manage your affairs until you are rehabilitated. You can do voluntary rehabilitation after 3 years, but then you will pay the legal costs again, or you could wait it out until 5 years have passed and then you are rehabilitated already. Then we also get debt intervention, and it's for consumers with unsecured debts up to 50,000 Rand, but with an income of a maximum 7,500 per month. So that is different from administration. There you could have any income. This is only up to 7,500. The National Credit Regulator will assist the consumers, and it will not be done by debt counsellors. Credit agreements can be suspended for 12 months if you are not able to make any payments or if your income is too little. They will do an annual review. So if you still cannot pay your debts after the first review, they will suspend the debts again for another 12 months. So you won't make any payments on the debts. And then at the next review, if there's still no prospect of payments to be made, then the debt will be written off. This process is unfortunately not in the process yet. They are waiting for funding from the government. Robert Kiyosaki said that financial freedom is available for those who learn about it and work towards it. It's not easy, but it can be done. Good luck.